I wish to mourn together with the people of Meru and say that for Honorable Muriuki, may God rest him in peace.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity to eulogize our great son of this country, the late Silas Muriuki. Muriuki was a good representative of the teachers' fraternity in this country. Secondly, he also served with me in this parliament. Mr. Speaker, Muriuki was a good debater. Muriuki was a team player because we managed to do exchange programs on Arambes. He used to come to my constituency, and I went many times to Meru. And therefore, the people of Meru know that this great son of theirs was not only coming from Imenti North, but from the whole of this country, as he was a great son and a great leader who would be dependable at all times. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Last but not least, Karido, member for Igembe. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. May I also utilize this great man of Meru. I knew Muriuki. He was a great leader. I served with him when we were in the Alliance Party of Kenya, the former BAS. He was our chair and a great man. He was a great mobilizer and a very reasonable leader. May I extend my apologies to his family and the people of Imenti North on behalf of the people of Igembe Central, because we are brothers and we really feel the pain of losing this great leader from Meru County. May he so rest in peace and may his family be comforted with this message. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, reduction of publication period of specified bills.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period for the following bills. 1, the Digital Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2023, from 14 days to 6 days. And 2, the Social Health Insurance National Assembly Bill number 58 of 2023, from 14 days to 3 days. Honorable Speaker, this being a procedural motion, I don't need to say much, but these are very critical bills for the realization of our universal health coverage. Honorable Speaker, all these members will appreciate the problems that the people of Kenya are suffering from because of a dysfunctional health system. And therefore, universal health coverage is an urgent matter, not just for ourselves, but for the country and the people that we represent. And Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Deputy Whip, Honorable Naomi Wako, to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second, as this is a very important bill, and for our effectiveness, it is good for us to approve it as soon as possible and implement. Thank you. I second.
Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the following bills. 1, the Digital Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2023, from 14 days to 6 days. And 2, the Social Health Insurance National Assembly Bill number 58 of 2023, from 14 days to 3 days. I put the question. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 120,
of how to tame the high cost of debt. Mr. Andrew, the nominee for the chairperson of the central bank, described to the committee that there was need to have a strategy on responsible fiscal management, monetary stability, and a dedication to transparency and collaboration to achieve long-term economic growth, as well as reduction in the overall debt by putting in place measures to bring about competitive debt pricing. Madam Speaker, the nominee holds a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Hull in the United Kingdom, and additionally, he holds a postgraduate diploma in law from the Kenya School of Law. He has also attended various trainings across the world on matters of corporate governance. It is also key to know that, Honorable Speaker, the candidate, he is a director of very many institutions, especially financial institutions, to name just a few, Vipingo PLC, Two Rivers, among others. Mr. Mukite, Honorable Speaker, has 28 years of experience, including and especially legal practice. Key to note, Honorable Speaker, was that during his practice in law, most of his clients were bank institutions. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we have a candidate who understands the banking sector, having represented most of these banks in many matters in the court in his 28 years of experience as a lawyer, Honorable Speaker. In accordance to Section 11(7)(a) of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, which necessitates that a candidate to be approved to be a chairperson of Central Bank of Kenya must be a Kenyan citizen, we would like to confirm this to this House that actually one Mr. Andrew Mukite Musangi is a Kenyan citizen. Honorable Speaker, we tasked the candidate on several matters, especially the issue of cryptocurrencies and digital currencies. Honorable Speaker, it was interesting to note that the candidate talked about having a central bank-backed digital currency. And especially in this space where we're talking about bitcoins and cryptocurrencies and talking about many Kenyans and global citizens losing a lot of money in this particular sector, just to name the most recent collapse of FTX in the United States of America, Honorable Speaker, shows that the time is ripe to stop using liquid currency, to stop using notes, to stop using coins. And the revitalization of mobile money, for example, Honorable Speaker, the use of M-Pesa and Equitel money and all the other mobile wallets actually has shown the world that it is possible to have those transactions being done without necessarily liquid carrying money in cash, Honorable Speaker. So most importantly, we put him to task and we're looking forward to, for the first time, Kenya becoming a lead again, not just in mobile money transfer, but having a central bank-backed digital currency. And this, Honorable Speaker, will also go a long way in harnessing matters in preventing cybercrime, ensuring that there's a protection of money of Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. We also tasked him on the question of the collapse of several banks. The last few years, Honorable Speaker, has seen the collapse of various institutions that have gone down with Kenyans' money. Just to name a few would be Chase Bank. First Community Bank has been struggling with customers not being able to go and get their deposits. Honorable Speaker, the candidate was telling us the best way he sees as a strategy to prevent this collapse of banks is to increase the capital requirement of these particular institutions, to have mergers and acquisitions. And I know the banking sector, for example, in the last few years, were very worried about when international banks like Standard Chartered Bank, Barclays, now ABSA, Stanbic Bank came to Kenya. And there was a fear that we were giving out our banking business to multinationals at the expense of Kenyan businesses. But what we would see after a few years, Honorable Speaker, was the starts and the progression of Kenyan-owned banks. Just to name a few, Equity Bank, KCB Bank, which are almost 100% Kenyan-owned.